Hi, everyone. My name is Keenan Hardard. I'm a biology professor at Minnesota State University, Mankato, and I research cancer and bioeducation, which is kind of the subject of today's training on confidence ellipses and convex holes, a new feature that Prism offers that allows us to visualize data and its spread and distribution a lot better. So, big reason that we'll be able to use these is it's a very cool visual way to show uncertainty or confidence in a scatter plot like you're looking at, not just as a plus and minus box and whisker type thing. We'll also get to look at convex holes and see how like encompassing all broad data like this based on category is going to be another great way to visualize total data. So being able to customize these a bit in the multivariable setting in Prism is going to offer you a ton of excellent elements to showcase your data and show distributions and really get the point across in really busy data like this. So showcasing this uncertainty boundaries and how we can interpret it. It's just the beginning. So join along with me. As we go in, I have copied in some data right here from my class study where I have the random IDs for each student. Not much going to use those, but then I do have two categorical setups where you're a high attending student if you went to 90% or more of classes, and you are a low attending student if below that. For commitments, this means how many hours they worked outside of school. You're low if you're less than 20 hours. You are high if you're above 20 hours. So this is where these are the two like major significant variables in my data set. Alongside that, we have quantitative variables for percent how you did in class, percent how you did in lab, the first quiz, and the 3 exams across class. So in my case, what I ended up setting up, and I'll go ahead and click in here to just kind of showcase this, and we'll play with these a bit. But my x-axis, my independent was like, hey, how'd you do on exam one? And did that predict how you did on exam three, right? I could technically move this and say, hey, what about class? I've also got two data objects in here that I have colored. You are a high attender in blue. If you were thumbs up, you are a low attender in red if you did not do well. And then for commitments, I made the small, like kind of lower committed students smaller, and then the higher ones a larger symbol. Um, so in that case, remember with multivariable, you can just apply willy-nilly, kind of go from there. This tightened up. See if since I made this class percent, see how that tightened up a lot where it's like, it's gonna get a little just more like even because you're closer to everything. With the exam being there, it's a little more spread out, which I think I'm gonna learn a little bit more from right here. So let's keep these variables. As you can tell over here, I did my own auto range right there to just kind of make sure that I've got, 100 right there, but I'm gonna need this space over here because I am gonna make a visual confidence. Because right now, as we look at this together, it's pretty good in terms of kind of separating I would definitely say the attendance ones, like see all the red in the bottom lower corner right here, where it's like low and low at the same time, and a lot of ones in red, sadly, that did well on exam one, but then really badly on the final. So this kind of makes this worth exploring to say the least. Now, if I wanted, I could actually change the color, which data object is the colored one in this case. Maybe I'll mess with that at the end, but right now I think this feels pretty good. So given that these data are big and XY and distributed, it's not a single group either. I have got two groups, and if you had three groups, we could do this with three groups just as easily. So if I go back in here, I'm going to say data objects. In previous training videos, we've already talked about how to make heat maps, pentagrams, things like that. This is not that kind of data. It's not a matrix. It's just an X and a Y, and then some category variables, in my case, on the top. Again, heat maps are not going to work. Prism's great for showing some really cool vector plots with connecting lines. Obviously love stuff like this, but it's not going to show me who's who, basically. This line will show me kind of how far everybody came, but I want to know if I want to visualize if there's a difference in the groups. Some of my old videos have already shown you pairwise comparisons with t-tests and ANOVAs. We could do that with this. We could say high versus low exam one, high versus low attendance exam three. That's fine, but this is wonderful. But I can't strictly show it until we go over here. This is a new tool. So we're going to actually go ahead with these multivariables. I want to say, show me the confidence ellipses. We could say it for all data right here. And I want to say, 95% of the time, if I bootstrap these data and is the average gonna fall somewhere in here? There it is. I mean, this would allow you to analyze and say like, all right, here's somebody who really broke the confidence. These ones right here in this case. But where this is really going to shine is I want to show confidence based on my categories right here. So I'm just going to let the default colors shine right here. I'm going to say variable by group. High is still going to be a blue shade around. Low attendance is going to be a red shade around. That transparency, definitely make sure that transparency is up or it will black out everything. And in this case right here, you can kind of offer, if I want to do dotted lines or something. But look at us right now. And that's just great. This is taking all those students that are in this group and making a separate look right here. This is visualizing and statistically showing us that there is a separation between these two groups and that there is a narrower, for example, range of possibilities statistically. If you attend high, you're more confident in yourself if you attend high. Look how much larger this ellipse is right here for the low attenders, right? Let's go back and like offer some more strange customization. I'm going to do some dot dashes right here, things like that. To be honest, I really like those dashes right there. That makes it look really professional. Not gonna lie. Oops. Oh yeah, and then it will add a legend for you over here. So long as you keep the colors the same as the actual data, you probably would be fine visualization wise to go like that. Maybe you would say that in the caption. All right, so let's say, yep, let's go back here. Wonderful, looks good. If I wanted to, again, I can just right away change this to commitments high and low. In this case, since I'm not matching colors anymore, maybe my high commitment group, I'm going to want to say like you are, yeah, let's do like black maybe. Make sure that you get that transparency up to the default 75. I'm not joking because, and let's make this green like they're happy because without this, as you'll see, take a, let's take a look here. Borders, just do black borders potentially. Yeah, maybe I would do, yeah, I'm just going to change my border right there. Okay, good. Okay. So in this case now, I can customize. So now my confidence ellipses are not on attendance. They're actually over here based on the work commitments, and it changed. So I said green for low and black for high. I do want to here. I do want to change this over here now. I know I'm upset that my borders are not doing what I want them to do. Don't worry. Just take some clicks, but it'll be fine. But again, this is going to showcase that in these data, not only is the attendance ellipses that we already showed you going to visualize and distribute creatively like this, you can choose whichever category you want. And again, I only have two categories right here. If you have 3 or 4 or so, you're going to be able to customize a ton of stuff. All right, so let's go back in time a bit, go back to back to my basics. Now, in this case as well, I can change the confidence. Trying to think if I can do, yeah, I can like really make it certain. I'm gonna make here. Let's try this where I say like, let's do like a 23andMe right here where it's only 50% confidence interval. Oh, it's not, it might not let me actually. Oh no, it will. Yeah. So 50% confidence that the bootstrap would end in either of those. That's a little less like comprehensive. 95, the default is kind of what people expect, just given, remember, p-values are 0.05. So let's go through here. Let's get rid of this. So no more confidence ellipse. And you can do it for everybody, like we said. Now, convex hull is going to be a little different. This will encompass all borders. This will be a full polygon in this case. So let's take a look. Convex hull, let's go with attendance and keep our natural colors that they're rolling with. Now you're going to get a more strict look at where's the actual area of these data. Now, this is susceptible, though, to extreme points. So if I did have a red one that was like way up here and they like scored really high, that would breach everything, for example, versus the confidence ellipses were a little more. Remember, you can have those like 5% of ones that would get away theoretically, the stranger ones. So in this case, this is going to give you a more strict data visualization in terms of what you're kind of looking for. It's going to depend as well. In some cases, you may actually be able to get the area of these as well. But for now, in terms of data viz, this is a great way still to highlight. Here is the spread and distribution of these XY data based on categories. And it does just look great. And the customization options are really, really phenomenal. It's going to give you the legend again. Like I said, it looks good if you want to change those colors. But if you stick with the colors, I would just go like this. No, honestly, in this case, I am thrilled to use this tool. I mean, this is my data that I use right here. If I wanted to say, oh, shoot, I don't need to do the axis. If I wanted to say, hey, you know what? Let's change this up. Let's look at some of these right here. I could. I do want to check in. I believe that no matter what, yeah, you can't do a confidence interval on a continuous data. You're going to have to choose one of your categories um, just to make sure. So looking great. Another facet of the multivariable setup with Prism that is really going to allow you to take your data to the next level in terms of everything without coding.